So Jesus, welcome. Thanks for being here with us. So do you share my general description, how you see the economic situation now from the point of view of family businesses, and what is on your to-do list from the point of view of a family business organization?
Okay, thank you so much, Nico. Is it working? Yeah? Okay, perfect. So thank you, Nico. Thank you for the invitation from Political Networks for Values. I have to say that among the fora I attend at the European Union, there are very rare occasions where there is a forum where there is shared values and where we talk specifically about values. So it's an honor to be here and invited by all of you. To your first question, do I agree with your analysis? I would say yes and no. Depends. It depends. I studied in the Jesuits. They will always say that. There has been major changes in history that have changed the world. Recently, 2 world wars. We've had the crisis in 29, the fall of the Soviet Union. We have another pandemic, a recent pandemic in 1918. And yes, there was changes afterwards, but, and we are talking about human values and dignity, the human nature doesn't change. We are still the same because we adapt. But talking about business changes, business owners are very practical and they will focus on what is working for them and what is the adaptation they need to this environment. I will say that first, there are some changes that I see based on my conversations with business owners. We have here 2 of our representatives in Hungary that are here perhaps to stay. Time will determine that. First is that flexibility at work is more and more demanded by business owners to attract talent. People have been working from home lately, and talent requests more and more that in order to be able to work and to integrate in the workforce. 2, sustainability issues are at the center of the business strategy, and I think this is going to stay. 3, there is a tendency to relocalization of the production, and this will diminish the globalization trend in order to preserve strategic independence. That's something that's happening. We will see if it's there to stay. And finally, what I have perceived in the business owners is new methods of engagement with clients and with suppliers. In particular, what have I seen as a reaction from family business owners? Well, I have to say that all the entrepreneurs I know, they have in their DNA the possibility to face challenges and react. Big or small, they're always facing challenges. And what I've seen all across Europe in my business owners is that they have reduced at all possible the costs in order to preserve the workforce. Family businesses have been very reluctant to lay their workforce, unlike big multinationals. And 2, they have contributed to the communities where they live in with money, with vaccines, with all kinds of help, logistical distribution, much more than the big multinationals where the compromise is not such. And why? And with that, I will just approach to my end of the intervention. Because family businesses are a force for good. They are a social institution, just not an economic asset. Family businesses, they have values in their DNA, not just a corporate culture. First, they are companies with a face, with strong roots in the local community where they are based. They are not easily movable, even if they are multinationals. 2, they think long-term. They think in generations, not in quarters. Their goal is not to preserve the assets and the profitability of the shareholders, but to preserve the legacy and the reputation of the family that is behind. 4, Their culture is value-driven, with a high sense of social responsibility. And finally, they are cautious by nature, because their first priority is to protect their downside risk. So family businesses are natural advocates of a more conscious capitalism. They represent the patient capital. The Business Roundtable, the American Business Roundtable 2 years ago, they agreed to change, and they proclaimed that they shifted the capitalism from shareholder capitalism to stakeholder capitalism. Okay, family businesses have been doing that not 2 years ago, but for decades, because that's intrinsically the values that, for the long-term vision they've been preaching and really creating. And finally, what is in my to-do list? Okay, and with that I will finish. I will resume in one word: recognition. Because family businesses, and we have two here, they are very discreet. They're humble. They don't want to speak up. They just go and do their work. But we family businesses need to be recognized by politicians, by the EU in particular, because the contribution that we do to the communities where we live, it's essential to create change. And finally, and as a summary, family businesses are really a force for good, because the values that we are discussing here, you can discuss that politically, intellectually, but you need the private sector. You need to have an ally, private sector, to put that in practice. And I really think that family businesses based in values are the perfect ally for your cause. Thank you so much.
Thank you.